Nancy, a new show opening up on Thursday at Mosaic Theater. It looks at the little-known fact that Nancy Reagan had a direct familial connection to Pocahontas. Yes, you heard that correctly. And Ken Matt Martin is directing the world premiere. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start right there.
It's this beautiful play by Rihanna Yazzie that explores this fictional world that she's built, but this actual real fact that is based in history. So a little bit of a mix of some things.
And it is a little known. I've done plenty of Googling. What's been the reception as people are learning that?
Well, you know, this is all, I have to always give credit, of course, to Rihanna. You know, she's a brilliant Navajo playwright. This is what she does. She tells Native stories. And so through Nancy and this random fact that she found actually writing a different play about Pocahontas,
wow,
she's now built this incredible world where we get to do this deep dive into the 80s. So it's actually fun because Ronald Reagan shows up as a character, Don Regan, all these other historical figures that people might remember from the 80s as well. And it's a fun comedy that does this crazy, absurdist madcap of a journey where you get to see Nancy Reagan, but also the story of Esmeralda, this Navajo woman who's fighting actually for the clearing of uranium mines on her reservation. And the play is kind of like a crash course where these two women finally collide towards the end of the play.
With it opening this week, what's been the reaction? Have you heard like, how could you, or right on, or a little bit of both?
Some of all of the above. The main thing people have been saying about it, they're just curious. Like,
yes.
Wait, what? Like, what
yes.
do you mean? Nancy Reagan, Pocahontas, it's a play that is a comedy, and there's, you know, 7 brilliant actors playing something like, I don't even know, like 30 or 40 characters.
Wild.
There's a lot of wigs, a lot of really big hair.
It was
really
the 80s after all.
Oh, yes, the biggest hair.
So many shoulder pads.
A lot of shoulder pads, some power shoulder pads, and a lot of really big wigs. Yeah.
What do you hope people feel when they leave Nancy? It runs, by the way, through April 21st at Mosaic Theater.
Well, the main thing we want people to do is laugh, first and foremost. It is a comedy, I have to always say to people. But beyond that, it's actually this really touching, moving story about this woman, Esmeralda, fighting for rights for Native Americans and specifically for a better life on her reservation. And I call the play a bit of a Trojan horse because if you come, what you will also find is a deep dive into the actual issues and problems that Native folks have been facing. And it's been the great honor of my life and quite humbling, actually, that Rihanna trusted me to be her director and collaborator to figure out how to tell this story.
The honor of your life. You've done a lot of stuff.
I have.
We've got about a minute before we wrap up, but I also want to flag that you've got Long Way Down coming to Only Theater with another DC favorite, Newbery Award winner, Jason Reynolds. You're taking his novel and you're bringing it to the stage.
Yes, this incredible novel, we're turning it into a musical. TheaterWorks USA and the Apollo Theater in New York actually are our producers, so we're doing it at Only first with that incredible staff.
No big deal. Starting at Only Theater, then going to the Apollo.
And then going to the Apollo
Amazing.
In the fall, and it's going to be really special, and it's a great new musical, and I'm directing and choreographing it as well.
You have to come back for that.
I will love to.
Perfect. Ken Matt Martin. Nancy opens on Thursday at Mosaic Theater, and then Long Way Down is in May at Only Theater. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.